Hi there, welcome back everyone. It is Phoenix Bloom, and today I'm going to be going over a little bit of a more off-meta deck with Zoro&Sanji, the ST12 leader. This is a kind of old leader coming out in Block 2, though it has gotten some really good new support recently, and I think this deck can do a lot. And so my deck does look a bit different than many decks, as I'm focusing very much in the tossed 2 portion you can play. Um, this really comes in with cards like Ivankov, I Could Never Doubt a Woman's Tears, and Parade Shot, all being able basically to play a cost 2 or less character from your hand. This Parade Shot should be at 4, by the way, that's why we are missing a card. um, but yeah, so the whole point of this deck is you play out a toss 2 character. It could be something like Kaya or Usopp, which helps you reset the top of your deck for another toss 2 character. And then you return them to your hand using your leader's effect to be able to set one of your characters as active. So our main attackers in the deck are cards like Yamato, Jozu, but especially this port does the Ace. This card is like the best for us as it normally has Rush always, so we can swing 7 the turn we play it, use leader effect and swing another 7. And since it's on play gives arrested on to our leader, it will automatically let our effect happen there. Now moving into a very good portion of the deck are 2 toss characters. Kaya and Usopp serve exactly the same purpose, with their on play, looking at the top 5 cards of our deck and placing them at the top or bottom of the deck in any order. The biggest thing is Kaya is just a 2K counter, so if I'm ever able to stack the deck, I'll just normally stack it to where I can see Kaya before Usopp, but literally that's pretty much the only thing that matters about them, as they have the exact same on play. Um, then we have this 2-toss Charlotte Pudding. This is one of my personal favorite cards in the entire game, as it has a really cool effect where it's just an activate main to return it to your hand. So that means if you play it off something like Parrot Shot or Ivankov and you just want another 2K counter in your hand, you can just bounce it right back up. And it's really good for card advantage since our things that cheat out 2 toss, cheat them out from the top of the deck, and this just adds to your hand. It's like they instead drew us 1 card. That's a 2-day counter. Then when we're moving on to our 2-toss blockers, we have Duval. Now Duval's an interesting mix as he is a blocker, but he also has a top of the deck effect. It's only the top 3 cards, so a bit weaker than Taya and Usopp. Though because Duval's a blocker, he does make up for it. He is a very good card in this deck. And then finally for our 2-toss, we have Mr. 3 Daldino. Just one of my personal favorite cheap blockers, as if he becomes rested, we can trash him to draw 2 instead, which is a very strong effect. Helps almost any green matchup we have, especially the Mihawk one, and so that's why we're running 4 of him. He's nice to cheat out, and importantly, all of our 2-toss characters do have counter, so if we return them to our hand, that just is free counter for us. A bit more tech cards, we have this 3-toss Brook we run 2 of. It's also a blocker, and then an on play to just put a character with a cost of 1 at the bottom of the owner's deck. I really like this card against mainly Jinbei decks, but should also be useful against our leaders like Mihawk, as they use their 1 toss a lot for attacks and stuff, so this just completely gets rid of that. It's one of my favorite tech cards. I add almost every blue deck I run. And then for our bid, the card that ends games, it's the 9-tossed Zoro Secret Rare from OP06. This card is great. It's a 9,000 base power character who can attack 3 times a turn. I normally attach some Dawn, so we're attacking 11 times, or we're attacking 3 times for 11k power a turn, and that just finishes out games so fast. And then going over the event lineup, we have 2 of the Demon Aura 9-sword style Oscar Blades drawn Dead Man's Game, or just DMG for short. This is great as it's a 3k counter for lead, or it does have a really good first effect to just, for 4 Dawn, rest up to 2 of my opponent's characters or Dawn. This is great for getting around blockers, as it doesn't have a cost that matters. So for versing its ace, and they have multiple of the 10-drop Whitebeard blocker, this can completely get rid of them. Then these next 8, remember this is supposed to be at 4. I Can Never Doubt a Woman's Tears and Parrot Shot both serve the exact same purpose, just one's a main, one's a counter, and that's to just play a 2-drop character from the top of our deck. And then finally for removal, we are running 2 Dum Dum Red Rock. I used to run 1 Gravity Blade, though I think a lot of the turn decks Gravity Blade isn't very good into, and I'd rather just have Red Rocks instead. So that's the deck, and let's take it into the Eastern meta to see how we're doing. Yep, so a little bit of background. I'd never really played this leader before. However, the original Block 1 green and blue Sanji, it's a terrible leader effect, but that leader is one of just my personal favorites to always mess around with. And this leader has a very similar build, in my opinion, slash could be a very similar play style. So I like testing him out. We'll organize our hand a little bit. Not much that's right to play here. We could play Never Doubt Woman's Tears to maybe try and see if we have anyone on the top of deck. We don't. We have a 9 cost, which we don't really want to play. And so see, that's also good for his top of deck manipulation. We didn't want to draw that next turn, so that just helps us like see our top deck. No, we don't want to draw it, and then it's fine. Swings 5. We'll take 5. We don't mind that. And it's an A, so this is actually really good that we put ourselves down to 3 life, as now he will have Rush. So now we are on 4. Let's see. I think playing a Kaya here, being able to edit the top of deck for a Parrot Shot should be pretty good. Alright, so here's how we're going to do this. We're going to... See, we know we're going to Parrot Shot on our opponent's turn no matter what, so we want to make sure there's a good 2-toss character in play for us to do that. I want to have Duval there, and then we have to think about our draw for turn. I want to draw Ivankov for turn, which will set us up with a Kaya if we want to go into that. And then I'm thinking about going... Yeah, this is how we want to do it. We'll play Duval off of the Parrot Shot. We'll draw Ivankov for our next turn. By our next turn, we're playing Ace anyways. So then we won't be able to do that. And then so we'll draw this on our 3rd turn, then play Kaya. So we'll return to deck. We'll put 1 on lead. Swing in. And then we'll bounce Kaya back to our hand. Just so we keep that 2K counter in hand. And that's what's really good about this leader. We can play these 2-toss with just even the slightest beneficial effects, and it helps us a lot. Swings 2, we can Parrot Shot, play out a Duval. We'll keep this exactly the same as we set it up before. And now we have a blocker on our field. We're up to 6. We will play the Ace. And then we will swing 7. And now's where we can kind of debate, do we either want to keep the Duval blocker up, or would we rather hit for 7 again? I think I'd rather hit for 7 again. And so we're going to do that. Go for 7. And we have a lot of cards in hand. So we do have a lot of counter, and he'll take that, go down to 1. This will make him a 7K power leader. If he swings 7 into life, we will counter out of that with a Pudding and a Brook. Those cards aren't really doing a whole lot for us right now. Alright, so he is a 9K leader. It's hard for us to swing into. However, we have 8 Dawn, so I can Red Rock into a Duval, have a blocker, Red Rock into a Daldino. There's a lot of good stuff we can do. Because I definitely want to get rid of this Zoro. Or do I want to let the Zoro stay and save Red Rock for maybe a 10-drop? I think that might be a bit better, honestly. Because the set's definitely playing 10 drops. There's just no way they aren't. So what I could do is go... Yeah. Alright, here's what we're going to do. We're going to Ivankov Get out the Kaya, reset top of deck. We don't really need to see any of those cards. We can just place them down the bottom however we want to. Then we can play a Yamato. We drew 2, and then we give 1 to our lead. Give 1 there. Then we'll swing 7. Actually, no real reason for us to swing anything, but we'll swing lead just so we can bounce the Kaya back to our hand and get another 2-K counter. And that's definitely why I like this package, being able to play that Kaya out for free, then bounce back to our hand. We're basically just drawing a 2-K counter for free. And he does another Zoro. Interesting. We can 2K and then we'll 1K with this Ivankov in hand. Then he swings 9. Interesting. We'll just take 9. Get another tie off there. He plays the Bonnie. Gets another Zoro. Okay. Him getting another Zoro here is rough. This card is just so insanely strong. I do want to try removing it. So we'll should go 9 with the ace, go 9 with Yamato, which would use up 5 Dawn, so it means we wouldn't be able to Red Rock, which I really do want to. So here's how we're going to do it. We're going to Red Rock one of them, and then we have this, so we want to save up 1 Dawn for counter. So I can go attach 3, swing 10, get a 2K out of his hand. Should do that. Alright, and he blocks. Okay. I could have played one of our blockers as well. That might have been a bit better. Though since we have this big counter event in our hand, we are good. And there's that second Zoro. God. That effect is just so strong. We do not need the second Ivankov. We have this one. Plays another Searcher. He gets... Okay, so now this is going to be really hard because this will let him make one of his Zoros unblockable on our next turn, which is such as we're planning to play some of our blockers. So I think let's just start with doing this, getting a draw. Alright, we do get a Chozu. Doesn't really help us in this matchup. So... 4, 6. We could just put sits onto the ace, swinging big into Zoro. Or we can try multiple swings into Zoro. He does have a lot of cards in hand. 7. As it would be attaching 2 to ace, then... Okay, here's how I'm going to do it. I'll put 2 on ace, go 9. We'll do 3 on Yamato, go another 9. Put 1 on lead. Doesn't really matter where we go, but this way I will return the Yamato to hand, untap Ivankov, and then just end our turn after we play our blockers. Alright, Alright, this gives us one more counter. Think we do lose here. Surprised he didn't make one of them unblockable. It goes 5 into 3. We really don't want that to happen, but unless I give every card in my hand up, that's going to happen, so... If we had time to set up this Zoro, that would have been great, but we just didn't really have time for it. It's just, this card is so insanely powerful. Alright, so... Can Yamato here draw some cards? Dead arrested, Dawn on lead. Hit Yamato again if I wanted to. Be kind of insane. Go 7 into 5. Yep. We will go bid with lead. Think we lose here. Yep, and then he'll just give us a 1K out of this one, probably. Alright. He goes 9. Yep. Well, we tried our best. And he did have that 10 drop in hand. So I guess I should have red rocked his first Zoro turn earlier. Though him finding so many of those Zoros was really fucking us up there. Alright. Found a new room. See, my thoughts on this leader is it can be very strong. Its aggro potential is definitely there. And you can keep your hand size up pretty consistently with just the ability to bounce back your 2-cost characters. If your opponent is a super aggro deck, that is where we struggle, as we saw against the Bonnie. Them dropping multiple Zoros and just staying as a 9K leader was really rough for us. Though if we're able to, go against a leader who can't really raise their power, so like 5K leaders, even some 7 or 6K power leaders, we are able to get around that pretty easily. Just as the characters that we're attacking with most time are 7K power, as that is the highest we can set as active with our leader, so that's what we're trying to kind of combo right there. So like a little point of advice for this deck is, say if you have the secret rare Zor or Ace that you're going to attack with, if you want to attach Dawn for an attack, make sure you do that on the second attack, as if his power is higher than 7K, after the first attack we're not able to set him as active. So just keep in mind you have to attack normally, then you can restand him, and then you can add the Dawn to him. So just is kind of important the way you sequence things. Alright, Odin's blue 2's on. Alright. He chose to go second. This is not really the kind of hand we're looking for. This is better. So since we'll be on 3... See, do we want to doubt a woman's tears? We could try. Got some top deck knowledge. Yeah, we don't need a Jozu right now, so that's fine to send to bottom. Immediate Kaya. So here I'm going to Kaya. Modify the top. Let's see. We want to do the Ivankov next turn. So maybe, let's see. Thinking we draw Parrot Shot, Ivankov into Pudding. Then on our next turn we draw a Red Rock. I like that. So put them on top like that. Then Ivankov Pudding. Then we Parrot Shot into Daldina. Okay, so we want to set it like that. Bounce a Kaya just for the 2k retention. And turn. Yeah, see, that's probably my favorite thing about this leader is you can just continuously bounce things back to your hand. So you can just get there on plays turn after turn. Right, so here we will Ivankov into the Pudding. We want to leave up a Dawn for Parrot Shot, so attach one. Go sits. We could bounce back to Ivankov, but I like having them on the field. He gets trigger. Alright. Oh, it looks like he had a red rot too. Alright. We'll send our turn there. Our hand's kind of small right now, though. Ivankov is good about fixing that. Play a Daldino. He goes 5. We can take here, just in case we find an ace or something soon. That way he'll get the rush. I assume it's where Ivankov can attack. It makes sense. Alright, we're on 7 now. Do I red rot the Kuzan? Is the question. I don't know how I feel about that. Though I could Kaya bounce back to Ivankov to play another 2. I like that. Yeah, so we'll do that for this one. So we'll play a Kaya here. What's a good one to go into? Alright. So here's how we'll do it. So we do want that ace. So we can do Ivankov into another Kaya. Set up top more. Something like that. Go 1 to lead. We'll go 2 on lead. Go 7. So 2K. Oh, Ivankov into another Kaya. Thing is, next turn, I do want to play the Zoro. So if I can't, playing that ace is fine. I'll just for Daldino's closer to the top. Alright, he plays a Tashigi out. Go sits with the bluegrass. Give him a pudding here. Plays the Sakazuki. His hand is super big right now. He goes sits. We don't really want to go down on life, so we'll go to a Kaya. And then 8, we can Daldino. Alright, so here's the thought process. Want to play a Zoro, though I don't believe I can defend a Zoro right now. So just going 7 multiple times. might be the best part here. So we'll go ace, Givaudan to lead, attempt to bounce bluegrass. Alright. Let's see who he plays out here. He might play like a Sendoku Searcher, or just plays a bluegrass then, yeah. It's fine. Let's see, then we will do seven into life. Attach one to Ivankov. Go 5 into life, draw in a Daldino. Right. Go 6 into life, bounce a Kaya back, restand ace. Go 7 into life. And play a Daldino. Alright, so this is a better game so far. We're not being rushed down as fast against with the 2s on, so we're able to kind of do our board control a bit better. Could see a chance where we maybe are able to play out the Zoro next turn. Let's see, go 7. Counter out of a 7. And there goes our important people. 5, we'll take 5. Another Ivankov. He goes 8. We will take this 8, and we will block the Sachizuki. Alright, so here we are. Let's see. Probably going to Gravity Blade the Sachizuki. And then I can Brook, get a blocker, then bounce back Kaya with lead. I like that. So go here. Go sits and a sits, bounce Kaya back. Right. Red rock him. Brook that. End our turn. Only at 1 life, so I don't really like how this is going so far. Goes Sharp into Sachizuki. Red Rock ditched. This man's been drawing a whole lot of... Only 13 left in deck. That's insane. Alright, he goes sits. We can Kaya out of that. He goes bid with lead. He can take that. So Duval. And then we will just let Brook eat that one up. Okay, so let's Duval. Ivankov. Very funny how this is about to be ordered. Ivankov Duval. And since he has his 3 8Ks still left and the sits, this is GG. Alright, yeah, he had so many cards left in hand. Yeah, this choose on deck's hard for us to go against. Honestly, this deck in general, and listen, I know this is not the main way to play Zoro&Sanji. This is my own personal brew against a concept that I like a lot in the 2-toss, so let's just play till we really get it. That last game we did have some good turns that we did see the power of Ivankov there a lot. We weren't able to draw with Ivankov, which is a big thing, just because Ivankov, when they attack, we do get to draw. The biggest downside normally is that they only have 4K power. which on the opponent's turn means they can kill it. However, with our lead ability, if we don't have anything good to restand, we can just restand the Ivankov, and that does become a very good resource loop for us. So. Let's see, while we're waiting, I know that with some of these videos coming up, I do have more of the meta decks coming up. I know Boa Hancock or Mihawk will be the next big meta video I do for the OP14 leaders. And then along with the OP14 leaders, I will also be doing the new ST29 Yellow Luffy leader included there. Though I am debating waiting until the rest of EBO4 comes out, just for the rest of that yellow support with the Egghead Crisis. So I don't know when I will make that video. Though I just want to do kind of a break in the middle of just those meta videos so we can see how some off-meta decks working. Alright, we're going against Emu. This is meta versus Road at best. What do we got here? Miss manipulation. Alright, I will keep that. Yeah, Emu dots to second, which is very rough for us. That means they are on curve for 10 elders, and let's be honest, with the way that our deck is working, unless we dead out that 9-cost Zoro, I do not think we have any way of beating Emu once they get that high up. So, do we go Duval or do we go Usopp? I think we go Usopp here, just because he lets it 5 instead of 3. Alright. So I do want a parage shot here. So I want to draw Ivankov on our turn, Ivankov into Kaya, and then parage shot a Daldino. Alright, I like that. Swing 5. So this way we can parage shot. Then on our turn we can never doubt Woman's Tears plus an Ivankov. Get a lot of value out of that. Alright, he plays out a Saturn here. Who's he dead off Saturn? He gets a Noshiro. He does 5. Parage and a Daldino. Alright. See then this turn we will Ivankov into Kaya. And then I think I want to go I Can Never Die Woman's Tears into Pudding. And then on our turn, we can draw Zoro. Or on our turn, we could draw another I Could Die Woman's Tears. And then do that into a Kaya, maybe? I like that. Bounce that back to our hand. Attach 1 to lead. Swing in, put Kaya back to our hand. End turn. That was nice. We were able to get him to burn an event of his. So we are 2 events down. 6 more to go, basically. 5 into life. We can Duval that. It's gonna go 7 into life. We'll take that because we want this ace to be active. He might play the Nishiro here. And that has Rush, I believe. So he does not have a lot of cards in trash right now, which is rare for Emu. I feel like Emu normally has a lot more in their trash than that. only 5 there. Alright, we are at 6. He did it with Ivankov, which is rough. That means our draws will not be as good as they normally are, but let's go. This. I'm not going to bounce back to anyone as I do want to kill him. So let's go 7 into Saturn. Some die. I can never doubt a woman's tears. Dedekaya. Alright. I think next turn we want to drop the Zoro no matter what, just as we need that pressure. And so we'll get Zoro, but then Zoro into Yamato I'm okay with. So we'll do it like that. And then we will 7 with lead, bounce back Kaya to restand Ace. And then Ace attack. He probably will counter out with an event here. Which if we condemn to use another event, that would be the best thing in the world for us. Because if we condemn him to use those early, it means those later turns will be not as rough. Alright, we didn't really get that. He just countered with 2, only 5 with hand. Alright. End of our turn. He might try and swing heavy into Ace to get him off the board. Because Ace does normally represent 2 7K swings a turn. Or he can just go 5 into 5. Duval. Counter with 2 Duvals. Okay. Let's see. Plays a Saturn. Saturn finds him never existed, so that's his other event. Nustro. Okay. I don't think he realized he only had 9 in trash. He was 1 off from the Nustro effect. That is. Oh, and I think he realized. Yeah, he was not going to win there. Well, there we are. We beat Emu. That's awesome. It's funny how we lost some other decks. We beat arguably the best deck in the game currently. You know, he did misplay there at the end, but I like to think that we did have him in a good spot. Him having 3 5 Elders in hand should have been rough for late game, but since we're such a fast attacking deck, we were probably able to pressure him. We maybe could have even won on our next turn if I didn't Zoro, but I did an Ace swing and then swung again heavy with Ace. So here we'll see. We can load into this one. Instead of just doing a random play, let's just go into ladder here. See. Try its VV maybe. Oh. Tempting to net. Alright, purple Totter Curry. Second is our preferred curve. Well, in that one. 3 ties. This is a weird hand right here. This is not normally what we want to see. 4 of our 2 toss in hand and nothing to play with them. I don't think I've played against the Totter Curry deck. Actually, I played against him the other day when I was doing my Purple Doflamingo video, so I guess there's more of these decks on ladder than I thought. It might be from the 7-drop pudding, as that's the newest card, just giving this deck a bit more hope, or because maybe this deck can be secretly really good into meta. Alright, go Charlotte Pudding. Yeah, as you can see, I am recording this pretty shortly after I recorded that Doflamingo video, as I saw the Doflamingo Dawn and Sleeves on. I will be switching it for the next meta video I do. I just didn't have any cool ideas to switch it for this off meta one. Alright, we'll probably... Yeah, we can Kaya here. Place top. Alright. So we can draw... Zoro. No, we want to draw Ivankov. Ivankov into the pudding. And Zoro the turn after, that's fine. Alright, so that's not bad. That means on our turn 2, we can get Ivankov out. Get a Pudding out, bounce that back to hand for a 2-Tay, and then we can lead ability to return Chaya to our hand for another 2-Tay. So that should be pretty strong. He goes 7 here. Or just sits, as he doesn't want to use his lead ability yet. We will give him a Chaya. I think we're okay for Chaya right now, just as we know for sure we'll get 2-Tays. I do not see this Kataturi played that often, I believe. Does seem pretty strong, though, as I know that overall deck does run a lot of Kataturis, so we might have to watch out for that. Get a Pudding, bounce that, attach one to lead, go sits, return the other Chaya, refan no one. Yeah, this deck just feels so satisfying to play as well. Just continuously returning your own characters to your hand, manipulating the top of the deck. Like, I really do feel rewarded when I play this deck, because the way I stat my deck does really matter. Alright, he got 1,000 power. We will give him the Pudding here. I never mind countering with Pudding, just because there's no real reason to play her normally. Just with her activate main to bounce herself, she's just really good to play out of Ivankov or paired shot and then get a free 2-Tay, but we never need her on play. Versus having the Chaya, Usopp, or Duval on play are all pretty important on plays. It's scary. Oh yeah. As he did with his weird effect, he was able to see the 9-drop Zoro, so he knows we have that. So I want to attach 3 here. Go 7, draw a card. Yeah, we want to buff up Ivan just because we can restand Ivan with lead, and get some pretty good effects there. Cool. So then we will play out a Chaya, place top. Since we don't really have, since we're not going to have the Dawn for paired shot, as we are going to attach it to lead. I'm trying to want to think what we want to draw next turn. Drawing a 2-Tay would be nice, or actually, I think drawing the Jozu would probably be the best one here. So I'll leave it like that. And then we'll go sits, bounce back to Chaya, restand Ivankov, so we can swing another 7. We won't get the draw as it is once per turn. And since it is rested, this Ivankov will basically guaranteed to die here. But I think I'm okay with that, just as we were able to get so many attacks in this turn. Oh, we're done between the One Piece. I have mixed feelings about this card. Like, I have been testing out the new team deck with the new support, and I want to run this card in it, but it not having Animal Kingdom types or Bitmom types is really rough. It just has Wano and Emperors, so it's like, it's good to be ran, but it can't be searched by anything. Alright, let's see what he does on his turn. Since that was our sit-on, he will be at 7. Luckily, that is 1 under from his bid boss, which is the Katakuri. So he ended out with Pudding. This is why I think people are playing the deck more, as this Pudding the Katakuri combo is extremely strong. 2 will to Mataya. We have that last one in hand. I believe he'll probably send like Sparrow into Ivankov, or he'll do something. If he sees we're drawing the Zoro net or the Jozu, his deck is very funny against us since he can see the top of our deck, and we stat the top of our deck a lot. It's a very back and forth. He knows what we're going to draw, and we know what we're going to draw. It's very funny. It's like if any of you have ever played Yu-Gi-Oh! It's like the deck Convulsion of Nature, which just reveals top of deck of any time. Honestly, sorry, I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! The Charlotte Katakuri reminds me a lot of the Spiral deck. Just being able to call the top of the opponent's deck correctly And if you do, yep, that's not that. If you do get a special effect, place the Ana, which is just a one toss blocker. So now he has two blockers, and he can restand with that. It's very strong. We are one away from Zoro, which is rough. I might want to Jozu the Sparrow. So let's get a Stuakaya. We already knew it was on the top of our deck, but this way we can stack a Red Rock, which is new. Who knows, maybe we want to do that. Alright, yeah, like that. Then we can Jozu. And this means next turn we can Jozu and then usually restand Jozu. He is a decent target to restand with lead ability. Alright, he'll use, we're going to claim the one piece again. Let's see who he adds off of this one. He gets another pudding. This pudding card is a very good card. It draws and it cheats out a body. The power creep of this game is pretty good, though honestly, I'm all for it. I know power creep's always a contention when it comes to games, though I do like seeing it because I feel like as debts get stronger, the game gets more fun overall. Alright, and then see, these would be great to attack into if this Trattori didn't just untap both of them at the end of his turn. Trattori, such a good card right here. But see, like, as the cards getting more power trapped and stronger, that's also leading for just more creativity in card building, in my opinion. Like, I feel like, you know, a card that, I feel like he was having connection issues there, because he definitely had a good hand. Hockey Ocean Sovereignty is one, very funny. This has a completely different name in the TCG. Also, interesting removal spell, as it's a Dawn -2, and it's also a KO, which isn't the best right now. As we saw, we had an ace and two of our Mr. 3s. That was a weird hand. Alright, that will be the last game for tonight. This is just going to be a little bit of a shorter, off-meta deck that I think can be very good. If played correctly, I might make a few more changes to it. And I know this is not the normal way to play Zoro&Sanji, though in my opinion, this is the most fun way to play this leader. Being able to cheat out these two toss bodies and then returning them back to hand. And also, this deck is like pretty cheap to build if you want to. This is definitely, I think the most expensive cards are these red rots, which are like 4 to 6 butts right now. But it is a blocked one card, so you don't need it. Like, you should completely replace it with, here, I'll bring up some good replacements right now. This Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, it's a block 2 card, and it's like $1 or $2 as it got reprinted. Same with this secret right here, this Zoro. It got reprinted, which makes it super cheap. And this Ace is only, I think, $4 to $6, as it's not really being seen play in any meta decks. So overall, I think this way is very fun, and that will be the end of the video.